For some people, public speaking feels worse than failure, worse than rejection, even worse than heartbreak. Your chest tightens, your heart starts racing, your mouth goes dry, and suddenly, your mind goes completely blank. What's interesting is this. Most people think they're afraid of speaking, but that's not what's happening at all. Because if speaking was the problem, you wouldn't be able to talk confidently with friends, argue your point passionately in private, or rehearse perfectly alone in your room. So why does everything fall apart the moment people start watching? Understanding this matters more than people realize. Because fear of public speaking doesn't just stop you from giving presentations. It silently affects your career, your confidence, your income, and even how seriously people take you. It stops you from applying for leadership roles, speaking up in meetings, creating content, sharing ideas that could open doors. And over time, silence becomes a habit. You start telling yourself stories like, "I'm just not that type of person. I prefer staying in the background. I'm not confident like others." But what if that story isn't true? What if you're not shy, not bad at speaking, not broken? What if your brain is simply trying to protect you from something it believes is dangerous? The confidence myth. The biggest lie about public speaking fear is that people think it's about confidence. No, it's not. Some of the most confident, intelligent, capable people struggle deeply with public speaking. Meanwhile, some people who aren't particularly skilled speakers feel zero fear at all. So if confidence isn't the issue, what is? The answer lies in psychology, specifically how the brain responds to being seen. The real trigger: exposure. Public speaking doesn't just put your words on display, it puts you on display. Your voice, your thoughts, your mistakes, your pauses, your imperfections. And the human brain is wired to scan for danger, especially social danger. Thousands of years ago, being rejected by the group didn't just hurt emotionally. It meant losing protection, losing resources, losing survival. So when you stand in front of an audience, your brain doesn't say, "This is a presentation." It says, "This is exposure." And exposure feels risky. Why your body betrays you. This is why fear of public speaking feels so physical. Your shaking hands aren't weakness. Your racing heart isn't lack of preparation. Your blank mind isn't stupidity. It's your nervous system activating fight or flight. Your body is preparing you to survive a perceived threat. That's why logic doesn't help in the moment. That's why telling yourself calm down doesn't work, because your body believes something important is at stake. The hidden layer. Identity attachment. Here's where it gets deeper. People who fear public speaking often don't fear embarrassment itself. They fear what embarrassment means about them. Somewhere along the way, they learned, if I mess up, I'll be judged. If I'm awkward, I'll be rejected. If I fail publicly, I lose value. So when they speak in public, it doesn't feel like sharing information. It feels like putting their identity on trial. Every pause feels loud. Every mistake feels permanent. Every reaction feels personal. And suddenly the stakes feel enormous. Why preparation sometimes makes it worse? This also explains something strange many people experience. They prepare more, practice more, rehearse more. Yet the fear doesn't disappear. Why? Because preparation improves skill, but the fear isn't about skill. It's about self-worth being attached to performance. As long as you believe, if I don't perform perfectly, I'll be judged, your body will keep reacting as if you're in danger. The shift that changes everything. Here's the psychological shift that changes public speaking forever. Public speaking becomes terrifying when you believe it defines you. It becomes manageable when you realize it doesn't. The moment you stop treating the audience as judges and start seeing them as people, something softens. The moment you stop trying to prove your value and start focusing on delivering value, your nervous system relaxes. You don't need to be flawless. You don't need to impress. You don't need to perform. You only need to communicate. And communication is a skill, not a verdict on your worth. Silence isn't failure. Here's something almost no one tells you. Pauses are not failure. Nervousness is not weakness. Imperfection is not humiliation. In fact, audiences often trust speakers more when they feel human. Silence can be grounding, pauses can be powerful, imperfection can be relatable. The fear loses its grip the moment you stop fighting it. So the real question isn't, why am I bad at public speaking? It's, why do I believe being imperfect in public is unsafe? Once you answer that honestly, everything changes. If this video helped you understand yourself a little better, subscribe for more psychology-based insights, and tell me in the comments, what scares you most about being seen?